Hockey fans that are going home with tickets to the Michigan Panthers home opener on Sunday, April 30th at Ford Field. It's the historic return of the Michigan Panthers franchise this spring to the city of Detroit. For tickets, pricing, and the home schedule, visit USFL.com.
What is up, my friends, and welcome to another edition of the USFL Week in Review. I'm your host, Mark Perry, editor of USFL News Hub, your alt football media guru. We are episode number 16. On this show, gamblers, Panthers, new coaches, McLeod Bethel-Thompson from the CFL, Grey Cup champion, moves on to the USFL with the Breakers. Ryan Willis goes to the USFL. We have the training camp breakdown, schedule, tickets, and an unboxing where I actually show you which team I will be repping this season. We are 35 days from USFL kickoff, so we're going to start to kind of pick things up as we move forward. So remember, if you like football, then like and subscribe to our channel. Hit the notification bell to get alerted, and let's get this thing to 20 likes, all right? 20 likes is what we're looking for. So if you want to be part of the show, email podcast at USFL News Hub with your thoughts or leave a voicemail, 888-430-7692, extension number 5. And also, we really appreciate it if you leave us a review on Apple Podcast. We will read it on the show. We repeat that. We're everywhere, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the whole deal there. The timeline, March 21st. USFL training camp begins and the USFL season kicks off April 15th. So we are 35 days from the USFL kickoff. Can you believe it? We're going to have more football on the way, but lots of news to get to this week. Make sure that you like and subscribe. Also, we have fantasy football going on, newshubfantasy.com. You can play fantasy football. We kind of worked out all the kinks for the XFL season. The USFL season will be a lot tighter. Drafting, all this stuff. So head over to USFL, our News Hub Fantasy, to check out that. We've got it all set up. It's ready to go. So you can start creating your leagues, joining with your friends, and we'll get into all that. But during the season, we're going to talk about game picks. We're going to talk about DFS and fantasy, and we're going to talk about all those things, game previews and all sorts of good stuff as we kick off the second season of the USFL. So I'm super excited about having that and you guys being a part of that journey as well. It's going to be fun, and I'm looking forward to being a season ticket holder as well. That's coming soon. So without further ado, folks, we have a lot of news to get to, so let's just get into what has been the USFL with the latest going on in the USFL. So the USFL announced, so they have the training camp and onboard dates. So we're getting all, they released some important dates a month ago, beginning of the league's second season after releasing their hubs in Detroit, Michigan, Canton, Ohio to the mix. They also, their regular season schedule. Now we have the official dates. So training camp opens March 21st, just a day later than what they had scheduled last year. The season kicks off on relatively the same date, April 15th, as opposed to the 16th in 2022. The schedule virtually replicates the same as their successful inaugural 2022 season. Teams will be kicking off just over a month from now. Last year, the USFL hosted 8 teams. The new twist is that there now are 4 hub cities versus all teams playing in Birmingham. 2 teams will be playing in each hub city. There will be 10 games for each team. 8 teams will be split into 2 divisions, the North and the South. Division opponents will play each other twice before the playoffs begin in late June. So the countdown has begun. We are getting set for training camp. So we've got Birmingham, Memphis, Canton, and Detroit is where the hubs are. But the main thing is March 21st, onboarding training camp begins, and then April 15th is when the season kicks off. So the USFL announced the Season 2 schedule. So we have the full week by week. So the USFL Season 2 starting April 15th. The league announced its schedule. Birmingham, Canton, Ohio, Detroit, and Memphis, Tennessee, all 4 cities will host USFL games in April within the season's first 3 weeks. During the 10-week regular season, each of the USFL's 8 teams played division rivals twice and teams on the opposite divisions just once. Daryl Johnson said, we're talking about playoffs and all this other stuff. So the USFL games are family-friendly, fun, and affordable. Ticket prices, we got all that stuff. So Saturday, April 15th, the USFL kicks off Season 2. 2 games featuring 3 teams that made the playoffs last year at Memphis Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. Head coach Todd Haley's Memphis Showboats make their inaugural home debut against head coach Bart Andrus and the Philadelphia Stars. That's at 4 p.m. Eastern. And then a primetime game, Birmingham Protective Stadium pits the 2022 USFL champion Birmingham Stallions and head coach Skip Holtz against Mike Riley's New Jersey Generals. That's at 7:30 p.m. in a rematch of last year's inaugural game that earned more than 3 million broadcast viewers. Both opening games will be presented live on Fox, while the balance of the USFL 2023 schedule will be announced in the days ahead. The USFL official media partner NBC will kick off its Season 2 coverage on April 16th with Mike Nolan's Michigan Panthers travel Memphis to face, which is not Kevin Sumlin's, they will face the Houston Gamblers. He is now gone. Week 1 will conclude in Birmingham with a matchup between head coach Ray Horton's Pittsburgh Maulers and the New Orleans Breakers, John DeFilippo's. That will be at 6:30 p.m. Week 2 gives fans the first of 6 divisional rivalry weekends. South Division matchups start in Birmingham on Saturday, April 22nd, as the Houston Gamblers meet the New Orleans Breakers at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, and the Memphis Showboats face off against the Birmingham Stallions at 7 p.m. A new USFL North Division host city takes center stage on April 23rd as Canton's Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium first pits the New Jersey Generals against the Pittsburgh Maulers at 12 p.m., followed later by a primetime matchup of the Michigan Panthers and Philadelphia Stars at 7 p.m. While most USFL weekends occur in 2 host cities, Week 3 involves action in 3 locations. Saturday, April 29th, the Breakers and Stallions at 12:30 p.m. face off in Birmingham, the host city for both teams. Later in that day, Gamblers Showboats, 7 p.m., meet in Memphis, also in a new host city for those 2 teams. On April 30th, we will see the debut of the USFL at Detroit's Ford Field, starting with the Keystone State Battle. The Maulers face the Philadelphia Stars. That's at 12:30. And then on the 40th anniversary of the original Michigan franchise winning the USFL championship, the new Panthers team will make its home debut against the New Jersey Generals at 4 p.m. So the USFL, of course, is the first major professional spring football league in nearly 40 years to successfully complete a successful inaugural season and return for Season 2. For the 2022 regular season, all 8 teams were hosted in Birmingham last June. During the playoffs, they played in Canton. The USFL announced it would expand into more host cities as part of its long-term fiscal plan to incrementally move teams into their namesake markets until all are playing in front of hometown fans. This is kind of their smart growth as far as the USFL goes, and not trying to not blow money, because that has been the reason why these leagues fail, is because they spend too much money. So for the 2023 season, Stallions Breakers will be in Birmingham, Maulers Generals will be in Canton, Panthers Stars will be in Detroit, and Showboats and Gamblers will be in Memphis. The 2 top teams in both the North and the South Division will battle in 2 playoff games in late June, with the winner matchup, of course, the following week for the USFL Championship game, once again at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. Great time. Canton is a great place. Can't wait to go back there. So you got Week 1. We talked about that. Week 2 and Week 3 all set. Week 4, Houston at Philadelphia. Memphis at, you notice that 1 p.m., 7:30, May 7th, 3 p.m., 6:30. So basically you're getting games every Saturday and Sunday is how the schedule is, which makes it consistent. You have 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday, not 3. So that's basically the whole season is Saturday and Sunday, starting from April 15th all the way till June 18th. You're going to have games on Saturday and Sunday, either 1 p.m., 12 p.m., 7 p.m., 3 p.m., just kind of in that range all season long. So I think that's great. And really sometimes you'll get a night game. I mean, you got a June 11th game that's at 7 p.m. a couple 7 p.m. games, but basically you're getting games on Saturday and Sunday. The USFL season tickets and regular season tickets are on sale now, but that is basically the schedule, and you can get all the details on USFL News Hub. The USFL had a college draft in February. Now, it's kind of like the CFL's draft, in that these guys can go and play in the NFL, but they basically have these guys' rights, and if they don't get drafted or they don't get picked up, then they can make their way to a USFL roster. So it's more kind of a rights kind of thing. So they had a format, 8 teams selecting a total of 80 players across 10 rounds. Note the New Jersey Generals draft position penalized for violating offseason roster management rules. So we don't know about that. So here's the draft order. So the Michigan Panthers were first. Jared Horst, offensive tackle from Michigan State, followed by the Maulers. Got Lindsey Scott, Jr., a quarterback from Incarnate Word. Houston Gamblers, Chase Bryce, a QB from Appalachian State. Mason Brooks, offensive tackle, went to the Showboats. Breakers got Tyler Scott, wide receiver from Cincinnati. Stars got Alfred Edwards III, offensive tackle. With the 7th pick, the Stallions got Kadeem Telford, offensive tackle from UAB, local product. Round 2, Panthers got Tanner Morgan, a QB from Minnesota. Maulers got Malik Ham, a defensive end from Lafayette. Gamblers, Justin Ford, a cornerback from Montana. With the 11th pick, Memphis Showboats got Isaiah Bolden, a cornerback from Jackson State. Breakers got Noah Taylor, an edge rusher from Virginia. Stars got Anderson Hardy, offensive tackle, Appalachian State. Stallions got Quentin Barrow, offensive tackle, Grand Valley State. And then the Generals got Adrian Martinez, a quarterback from Kansas State. That takes out round 2. Round 3, Panthers Santrell Latham, linebacker from Southern Miss. Maulers got Traquan Dorsey, offensive line from St. Francis. Gamblers, Joseph Fisher, offensive guard from Shepherd. Showboats, Brevin Allen, defensive end from Campbell. Breakers, DJ Ivy, a cornerback from Miami of Florida. Stars, Isaac Moore, offensive tackle from Temple. Birmingham Stallions got Malik Cunningham, quarterback from Louisville. And then the New Jersey Generals got J.J. Holman, a wide receiver from Tennessee State. That's round 3. Round 4, Panthers got DJ Scalif, offensive line from Miami, Florida. Maulers for Orlando Jordan, a cornerback from Southeast Louisiana. Gamblers, Scott Matlock, a defensive tackle from Boise State. Showboats, Benny Sapp III, a DB from Northern Iowa. Breakers, Keaton Mitchell, a running back from East Carolina. Stars got Truman Jones, a defensive end from Harvard. Birmingham Stallions, Darius Davis, a wide receiver from TCU. And then the Generals got Victor Jones, a defensive end from Akron. That is round 4. Round 5, Panthers got Deshaun White, a linebacker from Oklahoma. Maulers, Isaiah Land, edge from Florida A&M. Gamblers, Jeffrey Johnson, defensive tackle, Oklahoma. Showboats, Michael Ezeki, tight end from UCLA, from the first tight end. Isaiah Moore, linebacker, NC State, goes to the Breakers. Earl Bostick Jr., offensive tackle from Kansas, to the Stars. Stallions get Zeke Vanderberg, linebacker from Illinois State. And the Generals, DeJohn Warren, cornerback from Jackson State. So another Jackson State player heading to the USFL, potentially, if they don't get drafted in the NFL. Michigan Panthers, Levi Russo-Bell, a defensive tackle from Texas State. Maulers, Nash Jensen, offensive guard, North Dakota State. Gamblers, Keenan Isaac, cornerback from Alabama State. Showboats, Jerome Carvin, offensive guard, Tennessee. Breakers, Dante Stills, defensive line from West Virginia. Generals, Derek Tucker, safety, Texas Southern. Stars get Jose Ramirez, defensive end, Eastern Michigan. And the Stallions get Corby Swordsdahl, offensive tackle from William and Mary. Got to load up on the offensive line. There's no doubt about that. 7th round of the college draft, the Panthers get Gunnar Oaks, tight end from Eastern Michigan. Maulers got Taylor Grimes, wide receiver from Incarnate Word. Gamblers got Alex Jensen, offensive tackle, South Dakota. Showboats, Haim Sheldon, a cornerback from San Jose State. Breakers got Darius Hagens, a running back from Virginia State. Generals, Jeremiah McDaniel, defensive end from North Carolina A&T. Stars, DeMontre Jacobs, offensive tackle of South Florida. And the Stallions, Grant DeBow, wide receiver from Charlotte. And then the 8th round, Panthers, Andrew Farmer, outside linebacker from Lane College. Maulers get C.J. Turner, wide receiver, Southeastern Louisiana. Gamblers, Brady Russell, a tight end from Colorado. Memphis Showboats, Trey Shropshire, a wide receiver from UAB. Jake Bobo, a tight end wide receiver from UCLA, goes to the Breakers. Punter, Adam Korsak, a punter from Rutgers, goes to the New Jersey Generals. He is the 2022 Ray Guy Award winner, given to the nation's best punter. Philadelphia Stars, Trey Botts, defensive line at Colorado State Pueblo. Stallions get Mark Evans, the second, an offensive guard from Arkansas Plain Bluff. Round 9, getting to the end here. Panthers take Chim Okafor, offensive tackle, Benedictine. Maulers get Jacob Slade, defensive tackle, Michigan State. Gamblers, Jason Taylor, the second, safety, Oklahoma State. Showboats, Silas DeZanzi, offensive tackle, Virginia Tech, go Hokies. Breakers, Alex Polowaski, offensive tackle, Illinois. Generals, Jalen Holston, running back, Virginia Tech, yeah, go Hokies. Stars get Destin Mack, a cornerback from Citadel. Stallions, B.J. Thompson, defensive end, Austin F.P. Stephen F. Austin, I meant. And finally, the final round of the college draft, the Michigan Panthers, Sidy Sow, offensive guard, Eastern Michigan. Maulers take first kicker, Ethan Evans, a kicker from Wingate. Colby Reeder, linebacker, Iowa State, goes to the Gamblers. Showboats, Antonio Fletcher, safety of Southern Illinois. Breakers, Tyler Baker-Williams, a cornerback from NC State. Generals get Nick Zakeko, a long snapper, there you go, from Purdue. Dre Terry, linebacker, Alabama A&M, goes to the Stars. Stallions, Sterling Thomas, the fifth, cornerback from UAB. Finally, the Generals take Ray Estes, a cornerback from Grambling State. So there is the full draft of the college draft. Now remember, these guys are going to try to get their way into the NFL, but the USFL has their rights going into the next season, or going into the season. So if these players choose to, they can be part of these teams rather than kind of being in a free agent pool, which is kind of what's kind of going on right now. But I think this is a cool way for the USFL to do it. And, you know, they had the draft online. And I think having a draft every year, I think is definitely generates fan interest. So kudos to the USFL on this one. New Orleans Breakers signed Grey Cup champion McLeod Bethel-Thompson, quarterback. So the veteran quarterback announced via his Instagram that he's leaving the CFL and joining the USFL's New Orleans Breakers. And, of course, sources have confirmed the Toronto did not offer him a deal he was happy with, and he had no other starter market in the CFL, so that's maybe why he went to the USFL. On his Instagram, he said, "My next journey begins with the New Orleans Breakers of the USFL and will then continue with considerable NFL interest this fall. I do not want this decision to be in any way seen as a dismissal of the CFL. I love the CFL and hold it in high regard. Playing in the States this year allows family and football to overlap, and I could not pass up on that opportunity. This is an excellent addition for the Breakers, who have compiled a talented quarterback room with McLeod Bethel-Thompson, Aquel Glass, and Davis Cheek, and Zach Smith. Judging at face value, it's basically Bethel-Thompson's job to lose. He will be the starter, something to keep in mind on your fantasy stuff. So he went to UCLA and Sacramento State in his college career. In his pro football career, you ready for this? San Jose SaberCats, AFL, 49ers for a couple years, Sacramento Mountain Lions of the UFL, Miami Dolphins, Minnesota Vikings, the Patriots, the Eagles, Winnipeg Blue Bombers in 2016. He was in the Spring League twice in 2017 and 2022, and then the Argos from 2017 to 2022. Pro accolades: Grey Cup champion in 2017 and 2022, CFL passing leader in 2022, CFL touchdown leader in 2019, and CFL East All-Star in 2021 and 2022. After a redshirt season in 2026, MBT played one season at UCLA before transferring to Sacramento State for his final 3 seasons of eligibility. Over his collegiate career, Bethel-Thompson totaled 136 of 252 completed passes, 54%, 1,615 yards and 8 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. Had many stops in his professional career across all those different leagues. We talked about that. While MBT didn't see much playing time in his NFL stops, he earned a starting job with the CFL. Later signed and released a month later by the Blue Bombers. He joined the Argos in May of 2017. Initially made the roster as the team's 4th quarterback, but by week 8 of the 2018 season, he earned the starting job. After the CFL canceled its season because of you-know-what, he played with the Spring League's Aviator. His team would make their way to the CFL championship game, but he did not attend the game to prepare for opportunities in more suitable leagues with more resources available to players. This is apparently what he said. So he re-signed with the Argos, and then the rest is history with the Grey Cup this past year. So they're getting a veteran player in the New Orleans Breakers, and this has to put them up on a tier level. They lost Kyle Sloter. Now you get a legit pro quarterback there in New Orleans Breakers, a new team with a new coach and a new quarterback. And they were already good last year. I think the Breakers have to definitely be favored in the 2023 season. Ryan Willis jumps ship and joins the Showboats after getting released by the Battlehawks, so it didn't take very long for Ryan Willis to find new employment. After he was released from the Battlehawks, he made his way to the Memphis Showboats. The former Spring League MVP will battle Cole Kelly and Brady White for the QB1 position in 2023. Willis had been talked about ad nauseum in all football circles after his career at KU and Virginia Tech, go Hokies. He joined the Spring League in 2021, earning MVP honors along with winning the Mega Bowl for the team. He'd earned a contract in 2021 as the Bears' emergency QB, even being active for a game. He was waived in May of 2022 and be assigned to the Battlehawks on November 15th during the XFL draft. His time with St. Louis would be limited as the team released him in February, presumably confirming A.J. McCarron's status as the number 1 QB, and we all know he's been doing well. Willis now joins his 4th professional league with his 4th team. He was with the linemen of the TSL, and he led in yards and passing touchdowns, and he was the MVP. For the Showboats, there's a bit more competition in the quarterback room in 2023. With Brady White announced the starter in November, the quarterback room has seen college standouts Cole Kelly and all-football standout Ryan Willis make their room a bit stuffy for the second-year QB. With the addition of Willis, the Showboats truly have a battle and will look to improve from their 4-6 record and hopefully make a playoff run. So Ryan Willis added to the Showboats. The USFL hires Mike Nolan as Michigan Panthers' new head coach, with Jeff Fisher stepping down. So this was announced on the 3rd, February 3rd. The USFL announced that NFL veteran coach Mike Nolan has been hired to lead the Michigan Panthers. He immediately assumes duties from the former head coach Jeff Fisher, who stepped down for personal reasons. Quote, "We are honored to welcome Mike Nolan to the USFL family as the new head coach of the Michigan Panthers," said Daryl Johnston, Executive Vice President of Football Operations. "When Coach Fisher informed us that he needed to step down, we immediately started the challenging process to find another experienced, charismatic leader to replace him, while at the same time create excitement for the Michigan Panthers players and fans as we open our Detroit hub to start USFL Year 2. Mike was the perfect fit for that role. He has coached more than 30 years in the NFL. His extensive football knowledge and coaching experience will maximize his player talents and help them succeed at the professional level. We couldn't have found a better fit for the Michigan Panthers and the USFL." So Mike Nolan, 63, returns to professional football's top job for a second time after leading the San Francisco 49ers from 2005 to 2008. He's held numerous coaching positions for 11 NFL franchises, mostly on defense. He's looking forward to playing in Detroit in front of the Michigan Panther fans. Quote, "I'm very excited to join the USFL and the Michigan Panthers," said Nolan. "Playing great football and competing at a high level is what the Panthers are going to be about. It will take a loud and rabid fan base to help us get there. I've experienced the passionate fans of Michigan and Detroit while coaching against the Lions, and I was always impressed. Our goal with the Panthers is to play with energy and pride for the entire state we represent. I want our fans to be proud to root for the Panthers. Nolan's father, Dick Nolan, was head coach of the 49ers and the New Orleans Saints, so the new Michigan Panthers head coach understands what it takes to compete. He says, as a son of a coach, I was blessed to be around the game and football players for all my life. I love the game, but more importantly, I love the relationships that are created when competing for a common goal. My staff and I look forward to getting to work and beginning the process to make the Panthers the top team in the USFL. Nolan replaces Fisher, who is stepping down for personal reasons. Fisher spent 4 decades as a football player and head coach and is a recognized rules expert who spent years as a member of the NFL competition committee. Quote, I have made the tough decision to step away from coaching in the USFL to spend more time with my family, including our 5 grandbabies, and enjoying my semi-retirement to the fullest, said Fisher. Coaching in the USFL has been an incredible experience, and I am a firm believer that the league has a tremendous future. I'm extremely grateful to our players, coaches, and fans, and the excellent leadership at the USFL. I look forward to tuning in to Fox and NBC to watch the amazing teams compete this season on their road to the USFL Championship. The USFL's officials credit Fisher for helping the league pave a successful path, including last week's announcement that the Michigan Panthers were returning home this season to play home games in Detroit. Quote, we are so grateful for Coach Fisher's contributions, not only to stand up the Michigan Panthers franchise, but also everything he did to position the USFL for long-term success, Moose Johnson said. Jeff added immediate credibility to our league, which is true. He was a great teacher to his players, to his coaches, and an invaluable resource for all of us at the league level. He was a tireless promoter of the USFL, and his wisdom and experience were a benefit to everyone in the league. Coach Fisher played a critical role in USFL Year 1 and will always have a special place in the history of our league. So what do you think? I think Mike Nolan is a great replacement for Jeff Fisher. Too bad Jeff Fisher stepped away. Seems like maybe this had been in the works for a while. Maybe they wanted to close down the Michigan Panthers team first before they announced that Fisher was stepping down. But my thing for Mike Nolan, really simple, dude. Suits on the sideline. Got to rock the suit on the Michigan Panthers sideline. That's the only thing I ask. Oh, and win games, because it's important for all these hub cities, the leaders of these hub cities, to win so that they bring out fans in the stands. The Gamblers get a new head coach. So the former assistant coach with Super Bowl champion New Orleans Saints succeeds Kevin Sumlin. So the USFL announced NFL veteran offensive assistant coach and former Tulane head coach Curtis Johnson has been hired as the new head coach of the Houston Gamblers. Johnson immediately assumes the duties from Kevin Sumlin. Quote, we're very excited for Coach Johnson to bring 35 years of experience improving players at the professional and collegiate levels to the USFL family as the new Houston Gamblers head coach, said Moose Johnson, EVP of football operations. Coach Johnson has been on the USFL head coaching radar. So when Coach Sumlin recently informed us that he would be stepping down, believed Sumlin got a job with the Maryland Terps. He recently informed us he'd be stepping down, immediately called Curtis. We are thrilled that he enthusiastically embraced the challenge to be the Gamblers head coach. As a former assistant coach for the Super Bowl champion New Orleans Saints teams, Coach Johnson knows what it takes to build a winner, so Houston fans should be excited about the brand of football. Johnson returns to professional football after 2 separate stints with the Saints as wide receivers coach and senior offensive assistant. In 2009, he coached on the team that won the Super Bowl. In addition to being the Chicago Bears receivers coach, he held the same job in several universities, including California, San Diego State, SMU, Idaho, and Miami, and he helped the 2001 Hurricanes win the national championship. Johnson's first head coach job was Tulane from 2012 to 2015. He takes over a Gamblers team that would be hosted in Memphis, Tennessee, for the upcoming season. He says, this is a tremendous opportunity to serve Houston, their fans, our players. I want to make the city of Houston proud of our team and the USFL. As a former wide receivers coach, I'm going to bring a brand of football that is exciting and fast by airing it out while also running the ball. On defense, the Gamblers will always be focused on being physical and creating turnovers. I'm excited to get to work building a winner for the Houston football teams. Now, Johnson succeeds former head coach Sumlin. We're grateful for Coach Sumlin. Became a major professional spring league with nearly 40 years to compete, blah, blah, blah. So there you have it. A new head coach. Sumlin is out. Curtis Johnson is in for the Houston Gamblers. Do you think he was a good pickup? He sounds like he got a good pedigree and, needing that opportunity to coach on a bigger level. So Curtis Johnson is in. We have our coaches set. We've had some shakeups at 3 of the teams, and now we're ready for the 2023 season to kick off. Changes are coming to the USFL rules and officiating in 2023. So the USFL is going to be undergoing some minor changes for their second season. Former NFL official and now USFL head of officiating Mike Pereira sat down for an interview with Outkick 360 and discussed some of the changes coming to the league in 2023. Following the additions of another of the hub city and lessons learned from their first season, there are several adjustments made to the USFL regulations. Pereira spoke about how the additional cities has forced the USFL, of course, to hire for more referees. Quote, of course, it changes now with 4 hubs, so we're going to be playing in 4 different locations, so I've had to add officials, which is fine. The group that we basically have is 80% of it made up of officials that are on the NFL developmental list, which is good. The former NFL official also dove into what changes to be expected. So he said, quote, we looked at the rules and we're pretty pleased with what it was last year. We are still a little bit concerned about game times. We're going to have the possibility of one game playing into another. So we wanted to, if we could, guarantee that we played them in a 3-hour window. So last year we wound the clock with after incomplete passes in the first and third quarters, which sped up our game. We thought it was a good change, but still, we think it wasn't quite enough. So we're going to wind the clock in the second and fourth quarters, also after incomplete passes, up until the 5-minute mark of the quarter, and we'll see in the first couple of weeks where that makes our time frame fall. So this is still, they're tweaking things, trying to make them work. They might do this and then change their mind during the season, which is fine. I know they got criticized for making changes. Like, if it doesn't work, change it. It's like the ball was having issues with the chip that was in it. They made changes and we moved on. Shortening the game is the goal of many leagues in North American sports. Just ask Major League Baseball. They also discussed a change in kickoffs with the goal of increasing the number of kick returns. So we're going to make a slight adjustment to the kickoff. 81% of our kickoffs were returned last year. Kickoff from the 25. We want to get it to 90%, so we're going to kick from the 20. We don't let the kicking team recover the ball if it goes beyond 20 yards. The kicking team can't get a head start. The defensive receiving team has to put a minimum of 9 guys in what we call a setup zone. We didn't have too many injuries last year. If we did, we wouldn't have gone forward with this, but we think with these formational adjustments, they were good in that area, so we're excited. It's a little change in the kickoff. Finally, he discussed how replay will be utilized in the USFL in 2023. He said, quote, I am the replay center. We'll have replay center in Los Angeles again, so I kind of look at it and think of it from the NFL perspective to this. In the NFL, I'm commenting on what others have decided. Now, when it gets into the USFL, I'm making decisions, and others will be commenting on what I'm doing, so that I'll take more flack probably, but it was a lot of fun, and it's the first spring league I've involved with that has gone longer than 1 year, so I'm really excited about that. That's true. So there, just some minor tweaks from Mike Pereira. I'm not sure we'll get some kind of official thing, but as the season progresses, we will certainly hear more about these rules. But again, they're trying to make the game shorter, which is something Major League Baseball, have you seen them with their clock and changing all sorts of rules? Because people want to be in and out, they don't want to spend all day watching the games. And as you could tell from what he said, they don't want the games to bleed into each other because of their broadcast stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how these rules pan out in the 2023 season. Get your tickets, get your tickets. The USFL's tickets are officially on sale. So with the 2023 regular season kicking off in April, the USFL this past week announced tickets are officially on sale at host stadiums in Detroit, Canton, Ohio, Birmingham, Alabama, and Memphis, Tennessee. Fans at each stadium can purchase individual game tickets for as low as $10. Fans receive a significant saving on season ticket packages. For example, season tickets for all 9 games in Detroit's Ford Field start at only $25. Similar season tickets only cost $30 in Canton's Tom Benson Stadium for 11 games, Birmingham's Protective Stadium for 10, and Memphis Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium for 10 as well. Quote, the USFL is the best value in professional sports, says Darryl Johnson, Executive Vice President of Football Operations. That is, we're making it affordable for families and friends to be able to enjoy our exciting games together in a fun atmosphere at all 4 USFL host stadiums. In addition to being heavily discounted, season tickets come with added value at each host stadium, including access and dedicated seating to all regular season games. Cool. Ability is to purchase additional tickets for family and friends at their season ticket holder price. That is cool as well. Ability to purchase tickets at other USFL stadiums at their season ticket holder price. I like that. Access to dedicated account executives and payment plans, options to fit any budget. Cool. NFT team tokens that unlock more benefits for fans. I like that. Digital ticket transfer. Premium ticket access to stadium clubs where it's available. There you go. Ability to post on the secondary market to recoup money when fans can't attend. That's God. Ability to take tickets from game that will be missed and have double the seats to another game. Very cool. So here are the details of the ticket prices. So Ford Field, hosting the Panthers and Stars, 9 games, including 5 Panther games, $100 for club season tickets. That's the high-end level, all the way down to the corner individual for $10. Tom Benson Stadium, you've got midfield tickets for $120, all the way down to $10 for individual in the corner tickets. Stallions Breakers, 10 games, again, $120 for the club, high-end and low is 10. And then Memphis Showboats and Gamblers at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, again, $120 all the way down to 10. So you've got 120 sideline season tickets for 90, corner for 30, club individual games for 40, and sideline individual game tickets for 25, and then $10 for corner individual tickets. So, and post-season tickets are sold separately. Hello, Tom Benson Stadium people. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. So the tickets are on sale. I plan on locking in my season tickets for my official team, which is the Canton in Canton, Ohio, for the Pittsburgh Maulers. So get your tickets now, because there's talk that this league is going to go 5 to 10 years. That's just the plan, and they're just following the schedule, not blowing through money like another league, but they're actually, very fiscal, conservative, and building up. So this is going to take time as this league goes. So get your tickets now. All right, there you have the news of the week. We'll get into our social media stuff here in a second. But first, I wanted to have a little unboxing. So who is Mark's official team? So as you know, it's Tampa Bay Bandits guy. And then I was thinking about Memphis. But then when they announced Canton, Ohio, and my wife is getting my unboxing now. My wife's family is from Pittsburgh. So I decided we had to go with official team. So who are we going to go with? I love Canton, Ohio. And we decided as a family, our official team is the Pittsburgh Maulers. That's right. So Pittsburgh Maulers. So my wife got a shirt. So we will be Pittsburgh Maulers season ticket holders coming up real soon. And so I got my shirt. So excited to be rocking this stuff out. And it's good quality. So here's the shirts that we got, and cool, they got the USFL logo on the back. So Pittsburgh Maulers is our team. We're hoping Coach Horton can put it together, and we can win also. So not only did we get the shirts, but you also got to get a hat, right? So there's the Pittsburgh Maulers shirt. Dude, I love this hat, but yeah. So I decided to get a white one. So we've got the Pittsburgh Maulers hat and the T-shirts, and then moving on, we will be season ticket holders. So super excited about that. We'll probably talk about that at one of the podcasts coming up in the future. So let's get to, let's get to your social media stuff, shall we? All right, let's get a comment here first. talking about the Maulers logo, Darren says, why not let the teams play at their respective cities or in a small city that have similar culture atmospheres that really embrace football? City all teams exactly happen in MLF. The reason why XFL and arena football lasted longer was because of the games being played at their hometown state. Diehard fans, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we've talked about this ad nauseum. This is part of the business model going forward, but the plan is in the future they will have teams playing at their home cities, but they will eventually. This is a slow growth, my friend. Joe says XFL and USFL both have spring football season, so we'll have plenty of football to watch during the NFL season. So yeah, we both have, not only that, but then you have the CFL as well. So if you're a football nerd, you should be excited about these leagues coming online. Henry says, are there opportunities to own a USFL team? Okay, Henry, I would reach out to the league if you are interested in owning a team. Not message me. Ken says, maybe we can get, talking about Mike Nolan, he said maybe we can get Matt Cavanaugh or Rick Neuheisel to be the OC in Michigan. All the makings of a great situation in Michigan, experienced offensive coaches, and maybe a third quarterback to really make things go. Plus, experienced offensive coaches will likely have ties to experienced assistants. Yes, it would be an interesting thing. We haven't really heard officially of the coaches from any of these teams just yet. Alan talking about the Maulers changing the colors. So Denver Gold from 1985 would like their colors back. Seriously, I will be thinking of gold, not the Maulers. Okay, all right, fine. Robert says, cool to have football all year round. I agree with you there, Robert. And finally, they say, will the Gamblers ever play in Houston? Mike sent that one in. That's the plan, is eventually these teams will all move to their home locations. But now you have 4 hubs playing their games together. Remember, because football is super expensive. And my criticism of the XFL is that they spend a ton of money, where the USFL seems that I like their business plan better, this kind of slow growth, tons of football experience and behind the scenes. Would be interesting to see who replaces Brian Woods. We have not heard anything about that yet. I think, it could be somebody maybe that was part of the XFL would be kind of cool in the past. But we'll see where that goes. But, they have this kind of slow growth mentality. And now you've got 4 locations. And we'll see how this goes. I mean, one of the biggest critique of the USFL was the stands. But no one in Birmingham is going to go to another team's game like it was to be expected. This, I think, will be really interesting to see how the home teams do with their tickets. Tickets are so cheap. And the other problem that all sports leagues are facing is this kind of post-you-know-what world where fans, are kind of tepid about going out in general, let alone games. And that's something that we need to factor in when we talk about season ticket sales. I was at an event, and I hadn't seen a bunch of people, and they had all said that they really don't go out anymore ever since you-know-what. And that's still a thing that's being broken. Some of us have gotten out of it, where others are still kind of tepid, especially going to big arenas. But hopefully, as time goes on and people get more comfortable, you see season 3 and season 4, you'll get more season ticket sales. The other interesting thing that the USFL is doing is that they're working with local marketing partners to deal with the season tickets rather than bringing on staff and hiring them to do it. Because really, I mean, there's only a certain amount of time during the season they need to do this. They don't need to do it full time. So that's what's going on there. So, all right, that's it for this. Appreciate everybody on the social. Lots of news. Remember, March 21st is when, basically 20 days from right now, is when the USFL will start doing their thing. Also, make sure that you check out 2 things for us. You'd be my best friend. Let's see here. First is join us on Reddit. We have our Alt Football Reddit, where we cover all the different leagues: USFL, CFL, XFL, Fan Control Football, Indoor Football League, ELF, and so much more. So you want to hang out with us there. We appreciate that. And also, if you're going to want to play fantasy football, the spot to be it is News Hub Fantasy. A lot of improvements made based off of feedback from XFL season. So we have the USFL season. So it'll be our second season of doing the USFL. We're going to add a pick'em game where you can pick the games and pick attendance, and if we get those numbers and total points, and you can compete against other people on the app as well. And any kind of things you guys want, you let us know on News Hub Fantasy, and we'll take care of you there. We'll add more features to it. We have a big plan for News Hub Fantasy going forward. So those are two things to check out, my friends. All right, we'll be back probably once training camp begins, and then we might be doing weekly podcasts at that point. But we're super excited about the USFL season. I think you're going to see a big change. They've got two powerful media partners in Fox and NBC, and I think that will help things. And a kind of a schedule where you get 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday. It's not kind of like this jump around. You got to look for it. You know when you can watch some USFL action. And, hey, this is season 2. They've done this before. They've done the training camp. They played a full season. They've got the players coming back. Scooby Wright's back. Case Cookus is back. You've got new guys like Ryan Willis and McLeod Bethel-Thompson coming on board. So it's going to be an exciting season of USFL football. Make sure you stay with us. Make sure you like and subscribe. Like us and subscribe on YouTube. As always, hit that like button and notification bell when we get new content coming up. So again, always, thanks for listening. Mahalo as always. God bless. And I will see you all later.